This little beauty was the first composting toilet that I ever made. It's the bucket inside that does the dirty work. This is really just a box, a cabinet. But I'm going to retire it, and because I had this in my old house truck that I lived in for 20 years. So I'm going to get rid of this little thing, and I'm going to build something permanent in this corner. Then I can finish this corner. I can build cupboards for all of this stuff that's got to be put away. Yes, folks, this is inside the cabin that I built myself a year ago. But in the last year, I've been really busy getting Shazana settled in here in a cabin of her own. So, and getting the gardens done, and getting into mushrooms, and selling all the stuff that I didn't really need anymore, and fixing all the stuff that breaks around here on a daily basis. So yeah, things like this have been pushed to the back of the queue again and again and again, but now it's going to happen. So we're going to take this out, push it into a corner somewhere for an emergency, and I'm going to build a permanent, slightly larger one in here that will also incorporate an extra feature that I've been dying to put in. In a composting toilet, it's very important to separate the poos from the wees. The number ones and the number twos should not be in the same container, because that's what makes it stink. You separate those two and you put in a ventilation fan like I've got down here. I don't know if you can see it. You might be able to hear it. That operates from a small solar panel on the roof, and it doesn't even require a battery. Okay, it won't run at night, but every day when it's warm, we get great air exchange. And how it works is it's going to be inside an enclosed cabinet, and it will pull air in through underneath the seat here and pull it out and expel it below the cabin. Very pushed for space. I hope this is going to work. I don't want you just getting 20 minutes worth of my bum crack, so I'll try and work sideways. I know the measurements that I'm going to make this thing. It's 550 out from the wall, and it's going to be 550 wide. That gives me ample room inside to store extra toilet paper. The added feature that I'm going to put into this toilet, the separator, will also be housed inside here. And it's something that I just couldn't do when I was living in the house truck, because, well, everything's so tight in a house truck. All right. Well, that's my basic 550mm square marked out. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use pallet timber for the framework. And initially I'm going to mark this out with square corners, but what my intention to do before the end of the day is to radius off that corner with the biggest radius that I can manage, because I'm going to wrap this thing with the same sheet steel that is on these. I've got some small pieces that are not suitable for using for anything, they're just too small, so I'm going to peel the skin off, clean the glue and the dingleberries off the inside, and that will give me a nice steel wrap in the same colour as the walls around the front at no cost. Because hey, that's what it's all about here at Tiny House and Off-Grid Resources, doing it at no cost. This was a corner computer desk that somebody had left out during the curbside collection, so I knew it was going to be useful for something, so it got brought home and slid in behind a cupboard against the wall until it was needed. Now it's becoming the top to the toilet. Here's the frame with the rounded corners. I've got the bucket inside to make sure that it's going to work exactly how I want it. I've painted the frame with several coats of durable house paint. Well, that's the frame done and painted. I painted it last night, and so it's had overnight to dry. What I'm doing now is applying a construction adhesive to the outside. This adhesive is suitable for all woods, particle board, steel, glass, concrete, some plastics. I've been using it for years. It's made by a company called Bostik. Don't know if it's available in your country, but I'm sure that there will be something similar. It can be used in two ways. It can be used wet, where you will put a blob or a run of it onto the back of whatever you're gluing, and then you'll just apply the board straight to it. In that case, it must be clamped. But if you want to spray and walk away, if you want to put something in place and then have it stay there without clamps, what you must do is what I'm doing now, and that's to apply glue to both sides and bring them together. Then you separate them for a good 10 or 15 minutes, and when you put them back together again in 10 or 15 minutes time, when the glue is actually dry to the touch, doesn't come away in your fingers, when you do that, it will stick like shit to a blanket. I also want to do a little bit of gap filling here. On this corner, you'll see that when I apply the cover, it's not sticking perfectly, so I'm going to put lots of clamps on here, little pieces of wood, little bits of cardboard, all sorts of things to jam it into place, because I get one go at this. Sorry about the noise of the fan. I can't actually turn it off. That's because it operates without a battery or a switch. It's just running direct from a small solar panel up on the roof, and it runs during daylight hours. Okay, now I'm going to separate these. So now it's time for intermission. Ice creams, wee-wees, and chats with old friends in the foyer. See you soon. What flavour ice cream did you get? Actually, it's the next day, and I've finished making the toilet enclosure, so I will give you the big reveal in a moment. I have got to give full credit to my old mate Ian Mailman from the extravaganza. Ian's been living on the road for as long as I've known him, and it's something like 15 years now, I think, maybe even more. Anyway, Ian lives in a gorgeous house truck, and he came rolling through town a few weeks back, and so I spent a bit of time with him and I had occasion to use his bathroom. Now, of course, being house truckers from way back, we don't use the term bathroom because house truckers don't have baths. You call things what they are. That's the shower, this is the toilet, that's the lounge, through there's the kitchen. Anyway, the amazing Ian Mailman from the extravaganza was the inventor of the thing that as yet doesn't have a name. But if I hop out of the way, I'll be able to show you my version of Ian's urine diverter. This is something that everybody with a composting toilet needs to know. Now, the normal urine diverter that the average composting toilet has is inside the bowl, and it covers up half of the bowl here. Makes it very different for children to use, and it makes it quite antisocial for, I don't know if antisocial is the right word, but it's just not the thing that men who stand up to pee like to use. No, I don't think there's a guy out there who likes to sit down for a wee. So you will see that we don't have one. What we have instead is this. Now this is made from a 3 litre, 1 gallon US milk jug. We've got some tape around the edge of it because we don't want to do ourselves any damage with it. It's got a handy handle on the back here, and it's mounted on a bungee cord, so it's always hanging in the same place, but can be brought out here to be used, and can be used just as easily by women as men, by children as adults. Oh, and for sanitation, I just give it a burst with some vinegar from a spray bottle after each use. Delivering the urine down to the bottle inside the cabinet is a bicycle tube. Of course, you've got to make sure that you get one of the right size. I'll leave that up to you. And because the whole shebang's on a bungee, when you put the thing away, the hose goes into a handy S-bend which blocks out any of the smell that could possibly rise from the bottle that's tucked away in the back of the cabinet. Because, yep, in the cabinet I've got tons of storage room for 12 rolls of toilet paper. Here's the bucket. This is the air gap that the ventilator fan breathes through, and the ventilator fan is tucked away back down there, so all the smells get pulled away and delivered to the outside. So there it is. 12.5 minutes of toilet talk. Didn't hurt a bit, did it? It's something we all do. It's something that we've got to take care of, and being part of the permaculture and sustainability crew, we don't have any qualms in discussing it, improving it, and sharing it. Actually, you know what? This toilet isn't just a damn good, simple design. It's a very, very low cost design. If you do it right, it shouldn't cost you a bean. And that alone is one of the huge, huge benefits over one of these bought composting toilets, which here in New Zealand can cost between 1,500 and 2,500 New Zealand dollars. It's pretty hefty. If you're really interested in this and you want to go to the next level, as well as showing you how to make the toilet, I will do another video all about how my entire system works, how I've got this completely closed loop permaculture solution to dealing with our own waste. Just write more in the comments down below, and I'll do another video over the next week that explains step by step how our composting system works. So, if toilet stories, taming animals, and rebuilding and recycling and repairing things is a bit of you, why not subscribe to the channel? And I'll look forward to seeing you. And actually, no, I won't be seeing you. You'll be seeing me in the next video.